I'm checking your channel, but you're not live. Let me see again.
Can't see you live, man.
It says upcoming. Upcoming stream.
Let's see. Let's see. Now it's 1440p. Let's see. Still a black screen. Well, oh yeah. Yo. Oh yeah. Fuck, that's massive though. Damn. No, change it to DLSS. I think DLAA is another sort of version of DLSS, but DLAA is less effective. I think. I'm not sure exactly, but DLSS. You're going, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Or did you connect to your controller? Nice. Oh, motion blur? Fuck off. And camera shake 0. Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah. Nice. Oh, ray tracing. Well, you should ask Hassan what I had to say about people that use ray tracing. You know, like earlier today, I was saying, like, oh, nobody needs ray tracing, right? Because ray tracing is gay. Like, see, a man never gets his nail polished, so why would a man use ray tracing? Boy.
Oh man, you're dropping below 50. 60, I mean.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
My master.
Bandar.
Safe. The scriptures. Sound. All I ever wanted was a life in my mountain, free from you and your so-called merits.
What the hell, bro?
Those high above don't trust me.
Your
I
frame rate
understand
was all over the
that.
place.
And they send you and those knuckleheads to threaten me. To obey and serve once more. I understand that too. But what I don't understand is... you bastards killing my kind!
Yeah. Kill the bandar, get the bandar. What is that Shaz looking dog, bro?
10 looking dog.
Stay back!
Wait,
Stupid dog!
talwar.
Mark this. He's not just any monkey. He's a monkey of merit. A monkey was made Buddha once.
Monkey, 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 monkey.
None other than me can challenge him to a duel. Look, monkey. I don't make a habit of fighting someone I've bested before. Here's my offer. If you lose, I'll take you to the Celestial Court. They will stay and level your mountain. But if I lose, I shall certainly take revenge, and they will level your mountain nonetheless. How tragic would that be, huh? You are one of the court.
Tasty.
We don't need to resort to violence. How about you bend the knees, admit the wrongs, and we can put this behind us.
Bend the
All
coffee.
these years, except for that pig, you're the one who talks the tallest tales. Good, I am entertained. Speaking of entertainment, wouldn't it be fun if I pluck your extra eye out for my snack and allow you to keep the other two? Because I'd hate to let you miss how I'll slaughter each mongrel of the court. Those below, those above, and that black mutt of yours. Come at me, all of you.
They gave you many chances, yet you spurned each one. Such ingratitude.
Probably not. You're supposed to kick his ass, bro. Damn, bro, you're getting wrecked. Monkey, 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 monkey.
The victorious fighting Buddha. Have you any idea how many would give their everything for immortality?
Immortality? Oh, that word. All realms and beings have ruined themselves.
Thou of purity! Unleash your might!
Oh. Damn. Big oof. Choti oof.
This is just like Elden Ring. You know why? Because when you fight the boss in Elden Ring, or any Souls game for that matter, it like initially it's easy, and then later on it just they start showing like all these fucking crazy moves.
Almost dead.
Oh,
Damn. Wow. Bro, the graphics look so good.
Foul monkey! Taste my axe!
Taste my dick.
I love how it just comes on the stream as well.
Rat! You call that a duel? The glare up here is dazzling.
Monkey,
Fight
monkey,
me in
monkey,
the
monkey,
woods
monkey,
if
monkey,
you have
monkey.
the guts.
Shoot ya. up with them. Just saying. Oh, rip.
Fuck, I'm crazy. Oi! Thought the game crashed there.
Yeah. Bro, the trees popped in.
And so ends
Or maybe
the
he won, who
last
knows?
tale of Sun Wukong,
Let's see what happened. Oh, rip.
a hero who treasured his
Sun
freedom
Wukong.
above all else. Buddhahood he attained, yes, but cumbersome he found the celestial rules, for he yearned to come back and to revel in the simple joys with us. Little did he know, his choice to forgo the life above only fueled their mistrust.
See, if I didn't have to buy Black Ops 6 and even Stalker 2, I probably would have got this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This stone has stood for countless days on the mountain. Since my youth, they've said that his remains
Oh, fuck, he's
lie
old now,
within
G.
it. Unbegotten, undying, such is the nature of a stone monkey. Though his body was broken, his spirit endures. Into 6 relics he turned, and separately they escaped, choosing to stay hidden. Those
Monkey.
are the 6 senses of the great sage. Yet no one has ever seen them. Not in
Legit.
centuries. I'm old now.
And his cock.
Venture through all the lands I cannot. Yet among you, there might be one
Quite.
who is destined. One that shall recover all his scattered relics. And upon the return of the relics to Mount Tuaguo, he may yet rise again.
Black Dick King Kong. Just saying.
Alas monstrous hog. Oh, this is in a hard drive. Yeah, when I buy Stalker 2, I'm gonna put that in the hard drive as well. Oh, it's okay, because I mean, like, it's only a single player game, so you just enjoy it, you know? $400, 453, 497, 500, 548, 537, 589, 590, 599, 622, 637, let's say 688, $732. Oh, 700.
Nowhere
760 hours, bro. It took 760 hours to load this.
than ever grow.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see what bliss my fate shows.
Luck's around
Oi!
the corner. Seems
Oh,
like
bro,
I
actually, I like
fell
this.
from a fruit tree here.
Perfect timing. This peach near
It's me, Ramen,
needed a
nobody.
snack.
Lomri.
You sneaky rascal! Dare
Oh, that's a
fool
nice
me?
peach.
I'll
What?
make sure you regret it.
No matter how many times you come around, you're still as mischievous as
Oh, definitely nobody. Quite.
said something about red. Guess today, you'll be the one.
Which controller are you using? The SteelSeries one? Oh.
Unlucky Usi.
Alala Uso.
Ooh. Dick library. Gee.
Nice. Try turning ray tracing off and see how many frames you get. Yeah. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, oi. The quake.
Quack and sweat.
The cork is wet.
Oh, Chips G.
Huh? Oh yeah, dude, bring my one.
Chips G. What is this? Bangkok style. Yo, time to have chips.
What you waiting for? Pluck your hair and make an offer. Hey, wait! I, the keeper of Black Wind Mountain, have long been waiting for your arrival.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, his spitting image.
What in the fucking Harry Potter / Lord of the Rings shit is this?
Up ahead is Guan Yin Temple.
What a fugly nigga, G.
Once it was bustling with
Oh, yeah.
worshippers. Before it was ruined by that fire.
Remind me of Dobby.
Then the temple was rebuilt. Oh, what good is it to rebuild a temple if the goodwill of men has been burnt to ashes? You've forgotten this place, but they haven't forgotten you.
Depending how I feel.
Depending on how I feel.
It's a tough one.
Very nice, Watson.
Good luck to you.
I wouldn't, actually. No. I would watch the cutscenes. Adds to the story.
It's actually the cutscenes that make the game.
Yeah. Quite wet. This is nice! Wah, wah, wah. Oh, the Lomri!
Stop killing me, man.
This is animal abuse, bro. Holy fuck, bro, he sent you flying. God damn. Yup.
100%.
Yes, sir. Oh! Psych! Guess not.
I knew this day would bring nothing good.
Your face looks familiar.
He takes a chunk of it, bro.
Oh.
It's been a while, but the immobilized spell still works.
What in the baby Yoda
like
is this?
charm.
Fuck, it looks ugly, bro. Just saying.
Since you hail from Mount Agro, it won't hurt to teach you a handy trick. Now, here we go. Give me your hand. There you go. Should you come across any miscreants, just point your finger at them and release this spell. You'll be able to hold them in place without giving yourself a wound. Sadly, mine is but a
Why
hard
does eyebrows and his fucking beard look like beans,
Power
like
wear
mung
off
beans?
few
Bro.
short
Mung beans.
Though it's good enough against boneheads like this one.
Just saying.
Anyway, just consider it an ace up your sleeve. No! The young boys these days
Just
know
saying, eh?
no manners. Fear not. Teach them a lesson with your new spell.
Let the bow cook. Bro's cooking, G. Bro's cooking. Oh, time to pee like there's no tomorrow.
Oh,
Bro, I can hear myself peeing on the stream.
So hunting, and you cut.
Bro's cooking, G. Bro's cooking.
Who are you to trouble this grand mountain?
it's amazing, bro. Honestly, like.
Why not? What the hell? Oh yeah. But it would run better on a PC though, right? Because PC's more. Yeah, so it's better to get it on PC. Then.
Your face looks familiar.
I would just get it on PC and I would crank all the settings up.
I mean, I would get this on a PS5, and it's not like. I mean, PS5 does have 120 hertz, but I don't know like how it actually looks on it. But
Gives you a Nilong Shalong. Right in the bum bum. Bro's cooking G. That'd be crazy.
Wait! You don't think you can just parade in, do you? It's not that simple. Let me transform you into a golden cicada so you may follow the fires ahead and scout this mountain unnoticed. Fly! It might be humble, but my shrine is very versatile. You'll get it soon.
kebab. Somewhere in Damascus.
Is that lamb?
Yeah, looks like lamb. I need that in my life. The kebab that I said.
Depths of Black Wind Mountain, there are secrets galore. The cicada form may help you explore, but be wary. This form does not last forever. Should you find yourself lost, just follow my voice.
I almost said, bro, you're gonna make me hungry, bro, with these videos.
That actually looks nice. Oh, nah. I would not play this game on a keyboard and mouse, just saying. I have an Xbox controller. I have a really good Xbox controller, and for that reason.
Your treasures. I'll let you
If you feel like a little company, many of the perfect day. Oh, yeah. Aged ginseng. I heard like ginseng tea is really good for you. Yeah.
So there really is someone who dares.
I heard like it's so good that like it ages you backwards or some shit. Find some ginseng tea, bro. Don't talk about ginseng tea. fine Jinx.
My shield can't hold! White.
Oi. Oi.
Saw your face before.
Keep quiet. You don't want to set off that beast. In the backyard is Blackwind Gwai's ally. Calls itself Lady Schutzer. Considering your strength, I suggest you... Oh, get away while you can, little monkey. Once you pass that gate, there's no turning back!
This is gonna be fun. Bro, he comes and slashes right away. Oh my god. Bro. Brother, what even is this thing, bro? Brother. This thing is gonna toss you up and just shoot you, bro. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Stop living shit out of that. Oh my god, move. Wow. Oh. Michael just messaged me. He was like, "Oh, bro, are you back or are you still on holiday?" Like, I was like, "Nah, bro, I'm still on holiday." Aged ginseng. Oh yeah, ginseng tea. God damn.
Not to kill this bitch.
I'll fucking take a shit.
for the monster. Monkey is back. Follow this grand mountain. Who goes there? How dare you interrupt my meditation?
Another monkey, I see. Why don't you lay down your weapon and join me in Buddha's mercy? What say you?
Quiet, fool. You... Who are you? Some grand mountain! Mercy, sir.
Ugh. Ha ha ha. Oh, what the fuck?
With me! Hold the line! With me! Hold the line! Back! What should I do now?
Oi, oi, oi. Like some Patel here. What's that? Far out. I bet it was. I'll pull it cause fucking Michael, bro.
Okay, I'm back.
Buddha's mercy still be on.
Harder than it looks, isn't it? Isn't it?
Innit? In these nuts.
Feeling in my nuts.
Yes, sir.
Bro, why are the new AirPods still lightning? Man, these things shouldn't be lightning anymore. It should be Type C. Oh, like a separate Type C case.
Whitney, hold the line! It's back. Bad luck. Report to the
September rains.
some flesh weapon.
Fuck.
Crazy.
Fuck!
Quiet, fool. You don't
He's playing 2042. Battlefield 2042. Assam.
I'm trying to get my gun up to tier 1.
I do now.
What the fuck? Fucking AI killed me. Bloody AI.
What this looks like. Doesn't want to die.
Finally got my tier 1 weapon skin. Fuck, bro. Finally that's done. Done with that grind. Oh, yeah.
Now that it's dead, You might as well take a good look around. A great pill, the Blackwing Guide gifted the wolf. Finding it would be a deserving reward.
Damn, bro, what is that PC mustard?
September sale plus free upgrade. i9 14900 KF, 64 gigs of
4090.
DDR5.
Yeah. For
No
7K?
bonus. Hmm.
Wow. i9 4900K. Bro, that is top of the line, bro. 4900 KF. Yeah, they actually have been getting a lot of issues. The 14 Gen Intel.
What sort of issues are they running into?
It's like the BIOS like issues. Yeah, that too, because of the BIOS issues. So once they get fixed on the BIOS updates, then it should be okay. But at least like right now, it's absolute crap.
It's something to do with what? Damn. Bro, I'm looking at that same SSD that you got there, Manthan. The 2 TB Acer Predator. Fuck, bro. And I'm looking at the price that you got it for and the price that's here now. Fuck. Bro, you paid like 170 something for that. Bro, right now it's 289. Bro, you got it exactly for $100 cheaper. That is insane. No, I'm still watching. I think I'm the only one that's watching here. I'm the only one that's watching.
Oh.
Have you seen those nameless souls adrift on your path? Their wheels float aloft, never to fade. Shame, your god serves little purpose, and mine answers solely to me. I know a way to guide the souls, mend their paths, and set them free. It will aid you. Now, this is better. This gourd, though humble, may save the lost, banish their obsessions, and guide them.
Oh.
For one as destined as you, there can be no turning back. We are like tumble.
Exactly. Oh yeah, so where are you going? You're going. He did. Oh yeah. That was crazy. Wait.
This humble one's name is Guangmo. Should my demise come by your hands, please pass this message to my master. Searching for deity, mortals do aspire. Craving immortality, Yao Guais surely will conspire! Fitting. In the very end, all alike.
That's crazy, bro. I saw that.
Oh my god.
For the master and I. That monkey is back.
Now,
When you're down.
all's in vain. Save your own effort.
around that style of gameplay, flowing sort of like water. That said, the other main thing to consider is that you want to put 3 points into the staff stances section early on at the minimum, because as you can see on the left here, there are thresholds that unlock bonus focus points. 3 points spent here unlocks a second focus point, 10 points spent here unlocks a third focus point, and 20 points unlocks a final fourth focus point, like you have in the prologue section, which is important to note because again, more focus points used on a heavy attack means more damage, more stagger, just really, really good. As for building specific ways, most of that is relegated to the staff stances, as each stance has its own moveset to it and ways of consuming focus and building around charge attacks, but it can also just be as simple as earlier we mentioned the sprint attack equipment set that you can get very early on. Well, there are things like Force Unbound for the Smash Dance tree that lets you sprint while you're charging heavy attacks. You can use this with the attack power builds while sprinting and sprint speed part of the attack itself to create a very clear hit and run playstyle where you charge your heavy attacks running around while it charges, then dive in and hit them with it, and then continue and repeat that, running around, charging these attacks, and getting out before any damage comes in for a really easy, powerful hit and run sort of playstyle. Easy mode unlocked, simple as that. It should also be mentioned that the skill tree can actually be reset, so you are not locked into your choices. Not at all, is very easy to actually do just in the menu itself. That said, to also mention it, the same self-advancement points are also used to upgrade your spells, and these have wildly massive value. The first one that you get is Immobilize, which as you may imagine is exceptional for bosses, just giving you moments to attack or heal, whatever you really need, and upgrading this can have a marked improvement on boss fights specifically. The only issue I'd be wary of with upgrading this early on over your general attacks or things like that is while it is very powerful while active, the cooldown is around 50 seconds, which is quite long. So if you build too much into this, you'll be weaker in the moments between those 50-second bursts, but it is definitely a fun alternative way to play once again. Aside from that, just a couple more specific locational things to help out, especially early on. When you reach the Forest of Wolves outside the Forest Temple Shrine, when you are turned into a cicada, along the rightward path right beside you will be what is arguably the hardest boss of Chapter 1, at least if you take it too early. Instead, you can do a nearby optional boss just up ahead by following the torches over the hill like so, and this is the leader of the Wolfmen in this area. This guy is actually optional, but once you defeat it, 2 things will happen. The first is you unlock a new transformation spell by interacting with his weapon. The second spell that you currently will even have access to in the game, so it's obviously important to get this. This turns you into the Wolf Chief, gives you the spinning double flame glaive that he has, and gives you essentially a bonus health bar and unique moveset. You turn into him, it lasts for a short duration, or until you run out of the health bar or might bar of the transformation, then you turn back into your regular monkey form at whatever health you had before. You can use this to build up your sort of bar on the bottom right, which instead of spending focus points, just once it's filled, is filled, and then you can spend your attack here. This is just an incredible extra transformation spell for a ton of extra aggression early in a more difficult fight, or just for the second health bar of safety basically that you can trigger if you're about to die. That said, because this boss is optional, that means this power is optional. You can do the rest of the bosses in the level without this spell. I generally, however, would recommend you do this guy first because he is easier than they are, and the spell that you get as a reward for this makes everything else way easier as well. The other thing that you get when he dies is access to the bell that is located behind him, and you do want to interact with this. There will be 2 more bells, more along the general proper progression path of this level. This is the only one that's sort of off the path. This is the main visible one, but if you get all 3 of the bells in the chapter, then you will unlock a secret path to an extra secret area with a hidden boss before the end of the chapter. On which note, there is a waterfall in chapter 1 that looks incredibly suspicious, I know, and trust me, it is suspicious, but don't get too lost in trying to figure out immediately, because this is actually somewhat of a puzzle that is unlocked after defeating a king and some princes later on in chapter 2, so maybe remember that for later on. That pretty much does it for your early gameplay tips then, how to interpret the unique combat flow of the game, the extensive skill tree options, and importantly an armor set and build concept to go around it for you to be powerful early in the game, and a relatively safe way of playing too, if that's the type of thing you're after. I hope you've all enjoyed this then, and hopefully it helps you out on your continued westward journey. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay...
There are some weapons early on you can get in Black Myth Wukong that come with some options. This includes the Winged Bear Staff and the Cloud Pattern Stone Staff. So they kinda achieve slightly different things. The first one, which you get by defeating the Bear Staff and then crafting it with the item you just got, your
There are some amazing things you want to get and can miss early on in Black Myth Wukong, like a second transformation, a powerful armor set, a better healing potion, and way more. I want to go over it all. Shout out to Game Science for sponsoring this video. Totally check Black Myth in Temple Shrine, the third shrine in the game. You can craft the pilgrim outfit. You want to do this because you can make a really strong build with it. If you namely equip 2 pieces, you already sprint faster, which is great, but especially the perk when you equip all 4 pieces is great, because then you get this glowing staff while sprinting, which increases your damage. It stacks up to 10 times and is at max power after 10 seconds, so then the next hit you do will be super powerful. And yeah, maybe you already see it with the Forced Unbound skill. You enable sprinting while charging with the Smash Stance heavy attack. So now you can charge up your heavy attack while sprinting and with the Smash Stance heavy attack. So now you can charge up your heavy attack while sprinting and unleash that as your first move with the increased damage from the armor set. Now you can go into every encounter with a huge head start, and also during boss fights you can do this tactic a couple of times for a ton of damage. Like we said in our mistakes video, you totally want to spend 10 points in the stop stances tree to unlock 2 extra focus points for that super powerful charged heavy attack, but also later skills like quick hands to increase the charging speed of the heavy attack, and then secondary damage where the heavy attack deals more damage to lower the enemy's health is also really strong. I got another build, but first want to quickly go over 2 settings. Like maybe you already saw it in my gameplay, but I have damage numbers on. It's of course based on your preferences, but I think they work great in Black Myth Wukong, because then you really see the damage increases when changing something in your loadout, and when you do a critical hit, it will also be noted with bigger yellow numbers. So it's easier to tell when something was a crit, handy when you increase like your crit chance through skills and gear. I also like the auto lock-on when attacking that is automatically turned off. Like this works especially great when doing that running charge heavy attack combo that you can miss if you're not focused on the enemy. Now with the setting turned on, you will lock onto the target, so have a way higher chance of hitting them. You can easily miss the second transformation that you can already get early on in the game. The first one is of course the wolf with the fire staff in the first area, like usually where you start. Simply follow the path and you will find the boss. Now the second one is called Azure Dust, that lets you morph into a tanky giant rock that is completely immune to status effects, and getting hit also builds up might, which will allow you to do a powerful ground pound, which is really strong, so you actually kind of want to get hit in this form, which is totally possible thanks to the high health and defense, so it's a really nice form. To get it, we want to be in chapter 2. At one point after the Crouching Tiger Temple, reach the Fright Cliff area and then the Squall Hideout Shrine. From there we want to head this way, and then you will enter an area that looks like this. Then we want to make our way into a cave, follow the braziers, and then straight. There will be some enemies here, take them out, and then you'll see the Mother of Stones boss chilling there. Simply attack it, but be careful for the other enemies that will spawn like this one to try and take them out, while still damage to the boss here and there. When you are successful, you get an item that is needed, and also start to look around this area for the wolf's eye that is close by. Then we'll straight across the braziers again, so we now want to head out, but head left to exit the cave to the Rock Rest Flat Shrine. From there, fast travel back to the hideout, and here, and then walk into the tunnel, and talk with a weird philosopher. I want to shut up now let's take it away to make your healing potion way better and way more. Way more getting that nice upgrade. Then we gotta make your way up the mountain. Right inside. Then we also inside the altar where the lamp potion can be found. This one immediately recovers 20% maximum health. Sure, that is less than the regular one, but it then also slowly recovers 25% after that. But we can make it even stronger. Like this fast travel point by these celestial like this lets you recover even more health over time, or this stacks with the lamp boost. Like you really notice the difference. This is the lamp boost normally, and then equip these celestial lower seats. You something with the arm, and maybe while playing in chapter 1 you've already noticed something else. The first one is after defeating the fire wolf boss outside stairs and found close by is the mark of the wide mist travel point. Go down into the water. After defeating this boss, you can go left, and then you will find here, fight the boss, then you get the powerful fire move. And like this will make their boss fight or any other bosses that use fire way more manageable because you get a ton of resistance. But it's also nice in situations without fire because it will also build up your focus. And when you check a slot, I went to the most wide area, you should be able to drop now, likely you're going to be some more so because of the staff and everything with their boss and other bosses. So guaranteed. Well, for the against regular enemies, or usually with heavy attacks against bosses, like then you will deal additional damage if you wear of this set. Wear the full set and then you also immediately get some cooldown back for this ability, so can use it way more often during a fight and while exploring if you don't waste it.
started. Be smarter. Our mighty king's got serious power.
The Wandering White can be found in the area near the outside the Forest Keeper's Shrine, within the Forest of Wolves region. This is the spot where that creepy keeper guy turns you into a golden cicada. Now initially you won't have many offensive tools at your disposal, which could make an already tough fight even tougher. However, you should be able to buy or otherwise get your hands on some evil-repelling medicament, a medicine that could reduce the damage that you take. Not a bad idea to take that before facing off with the White, but keep in mind that you'll only have a limited amount of this medicine at this point. You'll also want to invest some of your skill points into skills that increase your health and stamina, mainly the Robust Constitution and Rampant Vigor skills. Simian Agility is also a solid choice, since it will reduce the stamina cost for dodging, and you're going to need to do quite a bit of dodging in this fight. Now let's look at the Wandering White's moveset. He'll run up to you and try to clap at you. He's got some stomps, some swiping attacks, and a long-distance blast. He'll smash the ground, causing a giant AoE blast. And he'll usually do this 3 times and then end it with that ranged blast attack. He's also got some jumping stomps and a headbutt. When it comes to beating the Wandering White, it's all about reading his movements. At many points throughout this battle, he can chain all of his different moves together, and at close range, he can be incredibly deadly with the amount of damage that he can do. Hell, even from a distance he can be deadly if he connects with that blast attack. So don't just dodge around him willy-nilly and expend all of your stamina. Watch what he's doing so you can dodge and avoid each attack accordingly. Furthermore, some of the White's big attacks, such as that aforementioned ranged blast attack, leave him wide open, which is when you should go in for a light attack combo. The Immobilize spell is also quite effective. If you manage to stagger the White and even knock him down, that's a good time to use the Immobilize spell while he's down, to let you continue railing on him and maybe even stagger him again. Now, of course, if the fight winds up being too tough, you can always head to another area and find another boss fight and start leveling yourself up, gaining more skills and more gear to make this fight easier. But keep in mind that if you happen to defeat the secret boss of Chapter 1, Elder Jinchi, before defeating the Wandering White, he will no longer be there. which is something I figured out the hard way. And don't worry if you're unable to absorb the Wandering White's spirit after the fight, as you can always retrieve it using the Retrieve Spirits option at a Keeper's Shrine to acquire his spirit skill. For more Black Myth Wukong news and guides, be sure to check out the Gamer.com.
This video is going to be my strategy for dealing with the one. Now, I do believe it's a good idea to have defeated the boss or the mini boss just before this guy, as that is going to give us stability. We're actually going to use that to our advantage. But first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to run past this big guy here to the next shrine. The next shrine is going to unlock the ability to craft armor and basically sets us about a small amount of grinding so that we can get that armor crafted. We just follow the path straight forward. You'll have to defeat a few enemies along the way. These shouldn't cause you too much of an issue though. And then activating this shrine after some disposition will now allow you to craft some armor. Obviously, I already have this crafted, so you can't see the total amounts that you'll need. But you'll simply need yarn and will. There is a small chest in this back corner here that has a little bit of yarn in it. And I will assume that if you've defeated a few enemies at the very least, you should have some of the gold pieces that you can sell in the store. A quick chat on basic strategy and where my points are then. I have 1 point in this stamina reduction for sprinting, just because that's going to be a part of the strategy. You guys will see as we go forward. We are targeting, or I at the very least am targeting the charged smash attack because it's very, very good. Obviously, I need to reduce the stamina on that as I go forward. And we've gotten 2 points into the additional damage when an enemy is slowed. This is going to allow us to deal significant amounts of burst damage to the Wandering White once we start the fight. The reason all of this is going to synergize is because, in case you didn't notice when you look at the armor, our armor set here is going to allow us to sprint fast, and we are going to get more damage while sprinting. In addition, we can also use boards while sprinting as well. So overall, this armor set is rather nice, and you guys are going to see during the strategy why all of this is important. All right then, so the plan is going to be to wait until while sprint, and we've gotten 2 points you can sell in the store. A quick chat on basic strategy and where my points are then. I have 1 point in this stamina reduction for sprinting, just because that's going to be a part of the strategy. You guys will see as we go forward. We are target, or I at the very least am targeting the charged smash attack because it's very, very good. So I need to reduce the stamina on that as I go forward. And we've got 2 points of the additional damage. Slow is going to allow us to deal significant amounts of burst damage to the Wandering White once we start the fight. The reason all of this is going to synergize is because, in case you didn't notice when you were looking at the armor, our armor set here is going to sprint fast, and we are going to get more damage while sprinting. In addition, we can also use boards while sprinting as well. So overall, this armor set is rather nice, and you guys can see during the strategy why all of this is important. Alright then, so the plan is going to be to wait until the boy has just turned around. That's going to allow us to run up and sneak up on him to get things done rather quickly. We're going to start by charging up our heavy attack so that we can be at full power by the time that we reach him. This should mean that once we release this upon his back, we will get a few free hits in before he recovers, at which point we're going to want to freeze him so that we can then transform directly into our fire mode and start wailing on him as much as possible. We are aiming to build up the momentum that you see in the bottom right hand corner, and it's large followed by a heavy slams, which will do some good damage. It's also worth noting this has its own health bar, so all the damage you take during this mode is not really going to matter too much Taurus. That means that when we change back to monkey mode, we'll still be on full health. Doing all of this should net you a good amount of damage, and if we run back to where we came from, you should find that there's a tree that we can hide behind, which would actually block most of his attacks. We can use this to basically force it to kind of patrol around against us. There's only one move it can do that penetrates this, which is its air palm move. But outside of this, we should effectively be able to kite it around fairly safely, which gives you enough breathing room if you need to heal, if you want to continue fighting it, or if you want to wait for your cooldowns to finish so that you can do the same combo. What I like to do is find a good opportunity to recharge the heavy attack though, run on back in to knock it over, get a few free hits, and with the immobilize spell reset, I like to put that mechanic so we can get additional damage as our second phase of attack to continue lowering its health. At this point then, you can decide for yourself whether or not you want to try fighting it head on. It should be significantly injured at this point, or if you want to wait for another instance of the immobilized to be cooled down. By the time you've got this third one done, your transformation should also be close to being cooled down, which means you'll be able to get a second instance of transformation on it if you wish to, and this should help to simplify the fight and have you victorious in no time. Worth noting, this method has worked on quite a few bosses for me. I'm a good chunk away from the second chapter, and so far, using this kind of method, they were just kind of alternating between immobilized and transformation mode, has worked pretty well against a lot of the bosses, so hopefully this is something you can carry forward and will help you to enjoy the rest of the loop.
Black Myth Wukong is just packed with hidden items, special mechanics, and even secret bosses, including some in the starting region that you don't want to miss out on. For example, once you talk with the Wise Master, who you'll find within the first hour or two, he'll enchant your gourd. You probably already saw that this lets you collect the spirits left behind after defeating the boss, which each give you a special ability, basically letting you transform into that boss briefly and use one of their attacks. But the enchantment also gives you another benefit. When you collect wandering spirits, so one of the green floating ones you find tucked away in corners and side paths, it will give you a healing charge back in your gourd. So if you could use a bit of healing and your gourd is already full, it's smart to drink from the gourd before collecting the spirits. You might also want to think about saving those spirits to collect after you've cleared out enemies in the surrounding area, so you can use the spirit to gain a bit of healing back without resting at a shrine. Eventually, you'll also come across some regular enemies that are glowing blue, and these guys also give you a special spirit ability. Plus, absorbing the spirit will fully recharge your gourd. That's true for bosses as well. And by the way, if you took down a boss early on, like the Wandering Wight, you might have been a bit confused about why you couldn't collect the spirit. But don't worry, spirits for any bosses defeated before getting the enchantment will be saved for you under the Cultivate Spirits tab at the shrines. These spirit abilities can be pretty strong, so it's definitely worth seeking out bosses to collect them, and some bosses are missable. You can go back to them later, but you might want those abilities before moving forward. And keep in mind, the spirit abilities have a passive bonus as well. For example, the Wandering Wight, so you definitely want to do a lot of exploring and also check the shrine inventories. For example, I was surprised to find when I went back to the first region after moving on that there was this back stretcher curio for sale. The game doesn't really tell you this, but after you complete a region, new items will become available in the shop in that region, and you need to go back to find them. This back scratcher curio gives a really nice boost to your max stamina, so it's definitely worth checking. Things that the game doesn't really tell you about explicitly are relics, which you get after defeating the regional boss. These relics give some options for nice special abilities, but you need to go into the menu to choose which one you want. So you want to check it out after completing the game. You also definitely want to search for at least one special object to get out of probably already found out which increase your mana or stamina. But there are much more complex secrets too. Like if you ring all 3 giant bells found near bosses on Blackwind Mountain, it will unlock a special shrine for a secret boss room. Secret bosses at these shrines give special vessel items with unique abilities, as well as some other rewards. Back out exploring though, you want to keep an eye out for chests that are disguised to look like environmental objects, like these chests that look like water. You'll also also get a special curio called the Wind Chime after reaching the second shrine of the game. The game doesn't tell you about this, but the Wind Chime gives a nice little boost to movement speed. You don't have any other curios to read in this environment, so it's definitely worth trying. Not always being clearly told you've obtained new items or items available in the shop is definitely a pattern. You always want to be checking things like curios every so often to make sure you're good. Another example is it's not totally clear that you can craft the Pilgrim's armor once you reach right before heading out. There are a lot of armors like this that will just show up as craftable at shrines as you progress, and they just get better and better as you go. So always check to see if there's new armor available to craft. You might have also noticed these numbers next to some of the perks on gear items. These indicate how many pieces of that armor set you need equipped in order for the effect to be activated. Generally, you want to make sure you have enough pieces from a set equipped to have at least one of those abilities active, so you don't want to mix and match armor too much. But there is certainly potential to create some builds that mix different set pieces. Now, I also want to show you some pretty useful combat tricks and the best skills to grab early on. First, let's check out a few settings you might want to adjust. First off, there are auto targeting and auto lock-on settings, which are both off. Auto lock-on is something you're probably familiar with from other games. It just means your camera is automatically going to rotate to keep an enemy in view so you can track them more easily and don't have to zoom in. But auto targeting is a little different. Turning this on will make your attacks automatically land on the enemy when you're close enough for them to do so. By default, it's off, and you actually need to direct your attack with the movement stick towards the enemy to make sure it lands. Personally, I like leaving it off, but if you feel like you're all the time, try toggle it. There's also this setting for descriptive information, which is actually really nice because it lets you view descriptions for items like potions without fighting. Just hold the button down longer and they pop it up. If you're using a controller, you can also toggle input type between A and B. It's on A by default, but for you can also swap, jump, and dodge if you want to. And on PC, you'll have an additional setting for controller type, which just forces the game to display either Xbox or PlayStation glyphs if you're seeing the wrong ones. I'll also point out the headgear setting. This lets you turn a piece of sacrificing. But let's talk about skills. I think the most important thing to realize is that the stances category has a lot of important ones to grab early on. In addition to the stance-specific skills, there's also the focused attack series all the way on the left side. These unlock based on how many points you invest in the rest of the skills on this page, and they give you additional focus charges, which is super important since focus is a really key part of the combat system. We'll talk more about focus in a second, but I would highly recommend investing most of your early skill points into skills on this page. Putting a few sparks on the top row skills of each of the trees in the foundation category is also a good idea, but you're going to want the bulk of your first 20 to 30 sparks in the stances category. And specifically, I think it's best to focus on the ones under the default smash stance, as well as a few of these extra skills on the left side. I know it's tempting to start using pillar and thrust as soon as you can unlock them, and you should totally try them out. That's the beauty of being able to respec your skills, which you can do by going into the reignite sparks option at a shrine. You can reset all of them, just one category, or individual sparks. But here's the thing with stances, they become so much more effective once you invest sparks into their trees. So I think it's best to focus on one stance first instead of spreading points across all of them. Smash can deal a lot of damage quickly, and it's really easy and fast to charge up if you unlock Force Unbound and invest some points into Quick Hand. So I would definitely recommend focusing on Smash first. In that Smash tree, you're going to find Resolute counterflow, wind.
Hold the line!
You just had to make some noise, did you? Now everyone knows you're here. When a chime so grand echoes in the forest, the Yaoguais will surely be alarmed.
This is not good. My shield won't hold. That monkey is back. Who are you to trouble this monkey?
Blinding Wind, and Skyfall Strike, all of which I would grab early and try to get used to using their associated combos as soon as you can. They're a really good way to deal damage, and you're much safer than you think while using them. To pull off Resolute Strike, you need to have at least one focus charge built up, which is this glowing dot in the bottom right gauge. Then land at least one light attack, and then immediately hit the heavy attack button. But if you have more than one focus charge built up, then you can hit heavy attack again to do the Skyfall Strike. I'll get into more detail on those combos and a bunch of other combat tips in a dedicated video, but let me show you some simpler combat tips first. My favorite, and the one I use all the time, is the jump attack. While holding the movement input towards an enemy, just jump and hit the light attack button. You'll jump off them, dealing some damage and gaining a fair amount of focus buildup. The best thing about this though is that it's fast and pops you back out to a pretty safe distance. You can also just keep repeating it as long as you stay close enough and have the stamina to do it. I find this move really useful to fall back on when an enemy isn't giving me a clear window to attack with a normal light attack combo. You can also enhance this jump attack by hitting the heavy attack button immediately after the light attack button while you're still in the air. This deals more damage, and it's one of the rare instances where using the heavy attack without a focus charge built up is actually useful. Now, the full regular light attack combo is 5 moves long, with the strongest hit coming from the 5th and final move. Notice how each of the first 4 moves has the staff swinging backwards towards the screen and you at the end. That's the best signal I've found to use to pace my button presses and avoid button mashing. It's a good idea to practice this outside of combat and just do one move at a time to get a feel for when they end. It's right before the end that you want to hit the button for the next one. But keep in mind, attacks use stamina, and you won't be able to pull off that powerful 5th move if you don't have any stamina. So you don't want to totally just spam light attacks. You do want to use light attacks a lot though, because it's your main way to build up the focus meter down here in the bottom right, which will transfer over to the charge dots when it gets full. However, you may have noticed that enemies, and especially bosses, will often retaliate in the middle of your light attack combo. Typically, they do this around the 3rd or 4th move. So you want to try to avoid button mashing the light attack and instead do 3 or 4 very intentional presses unless you know for sure you're going to be able to land that final 5th move. Doing 3 or 4 will give you the best balance of getting a bit of damage in, building up focus to gain charges, and avoiding getting hit. Now, of course, you want those charges to fuel stronger heavy attacks. You should really think of the heavy attack as your focus attack button, not a regular heavy attack. It's really not very effective to tap it when you don't have any focus charges. Now, you can hold it to charge up focus anytime you want, but then you have to unleash the attack immediately, and if you dodge or get hit, you'll lose all the charges, including any that you built up from landing hits. So it's generally better to gain focus from dealing damage because it's sticky, as opposed to the hold to charge focus that has to be used right away. But you still need to be careful when you hit that heavy attack button because enemies will often run away and you'll miss, which wastes all the focus you built up. It's also important to realize that your dodges operate in a chain of 3, with a short delay after the 3rd. So you want to think about dodging in sets of 3. However, if your stamina is depleted, you'll you'll only get the first dodge animation in that 3 dodge combo, which covers the least amount of ground. So another reason to keep an eye on that stamina. Of course, you also have perfect dodges, and if you can pull those off, they won't burn any stamina. Plus, they have invincibility frames, so practicing your dodging is definitely worth your time. There's a bunch more combat tricks and a lot more depth to the whole combat system, and we'll get into all that in a dedicated video, which I'll link right here as soon as it's ready. There are a bunch of hidden mechanics and really important tips you can easily overlook in Black Myth Wukong. It took me a little while to realize that you can actually do a sort of hidden double jump to get up onto high ledges. You've probably come across some spots like this where you can't quite jump high enough to get up to an annoying enemy. But I finally figured out that if you jump and then hit heavy attack in the air, the animation will boost you up quite a bit higher. So you can get up there and take them out, but this also lets you get up on high rooftops and access some areas more easily and much faster than going around the long way like the game wants you to. And if you need to get over to a ledge that's a bit far away, you can actually dash horizontally through the air by using the Cloud Step spell in the air after jumping. Now, I mentioned in my last video that in addition to gaining will, collecting the green spirits you find out exploring also gives you a healing charge back in your gourd. But I realized later that these spirits actually come in 1, 2, or 3 charge variations. If you look closely before absorbing them, you'll see some have 1 or 2 additional wisps, and each individual one counts for a healing charge. So definitely make sure to check to see how many charges you're about to absorb before you grab them. And if you could use the healing, consider drinking from your gourd to make room for the additional charges. I'm sure you've also found at least a few meditation spots so far, which give some easy extra sparks you can use to unlock more skills. But there are anywhere between 3 and 6 meditation spots per region, and while some are pretty obvious, there are others you can easily miss. So to see if you've got them all, you can check your journal to see how many are in each region, and then go hunt down any you miss. I'll leave a link to a guide in the description in case you need some help finding any. Now, if you've arrived in the desert region for Chapter 2, you've probably started coming across these enemies with shields, and also probably already figured out that you just need to beat down the shield enough until it breaks before you can easily fight the enemy. In addition to the enemy's health bar, there's a secondary bar to show the shield's health. You might have also figured out that you can move around to their side or back to get around the shield and deal damage to them directly. But there's a better and faster way to deal with the shield. Once you defeat a main story boss towards the end of Chapter 2, which you can't miss, you'll get the Rock Solid spell. The best way to use Rock Solid in any situation is to time it like a parry. You want to trigger it just before an enemy hits you, but when you do that with the shield enemies, it will either destroy their shield or blast it out of range. Now, this is particularly useful on the spearbone enemies because they're actually pretty weak once you destroy their shield, and they're a pretty good way to farm mind cores. Mind cores are what you use to craft celestial medicine for yourself, which permanently increases your health, mana, stamina, or other stats. You've probably already found a few of these celestial pills in the fancy pots right after boss fights, but you can actually craft them for yourself once you meet Shoe Dog in the second region. He starts off near the village entrance shrine in a cave, and once you take care of a mini-boss nearby for him, you'll be able to craft mortal medicines at any shrine, which are definitely underrated, and we'll talk more about those in a minute. But you'll also be able to craft celestial medicine if you go find him in his cave at the Cellar Shrine. So if you're feeling a bit under-leveled at any point, it's smart to go take down some of these spear bones and other enemies in the area to farm up some mind cores, and then go craft some celestial pills with Shoe Dog. The drop rate isn't great, but you should get a mind core every 10 or 15 kills or so. Don't forget you can use the Incense Trail Talisman, which you get for free at the start of the game, to quickly respawn and reset all the enemies so you don't have to keep running back to the shrine to rest. And also keep in mind that just like your skills, you can actually reset celestial medicines at a time to reallocate your mind cores if you decide a different distribution may be better for you. Crafting celestial medicines with Shoe Dog is a much better way to boost your stats compared to dumping sparks into the survival skills like Constitution. These skills make such a small difference that I really think you're better off using those sparks elsewhere. Now, like I mentioned, Shoe Dog also unlocks your ability to craft mortal medicines, which I think a lot of players sleep on. These medicines can give really strong temporary boosts in combat, especially when you stack them, so you don't want to ignore them. The ingredients for mortal medicines are all the plants and fungi you find while exploring, so you definitely want to snag those anytime you see them, especially since it takes a full hour for them to respawn. Now, I wouldn't waste medicines on fighting regular enemies, but they can really make a big difference in boss fights, and there's 4 early medicines you're going to want to stack. The Evil Repelling Medicament reduces damage you take, so it will help keep you alive. On the flip side, Tiger Subduing Pellets increase your damage output by 8 points, which is okay, but you can buy the enhanced version from Zhudog for 900 will, and those increase your attack by 15, which is much more significant. You can also find the formula for the enhanced versions near the Bitter Lake Shrine in the 3rd region, so you can craft it yourself and not have to spend will. By the way, if you need some more will, don't be afraid to cash in your piece of gold items. I was hanging on to these for a while, but they aren't used for anything else, so it's okay to just sell them. Now, you also have Amplification Pellets, which boost your critical hit chance. Critical hits are higher damage hits that randomly occur based on your critical hit chance stat, and by default, they boost your damage by 30%. That's what the critical hit damage was 30%. But if you take an Amplification Pellet, your crit chance increases by 10%, so those higher damage hits will happen more often. An additional 10% chance to crit doesn't sound like a lot, but the effect lasts about a full minute, and the extra critical hits really do add up in your boss fight where you're probably landing a lot of hits over time. And if you get lucky enough to get a crit on a paladin, like a fully charged Focus Heavy attack, an extra 30% on that can be massive. You can tell you got a critical hit when you see a gold damage number, but damage numbers are often visual, so you might want to go into the gameplay settings here and turn that on. Now, the last basic medicine to stack is the Longevity Decoction, which you need to purchase from Zhudog, and this one temporarily boosts your maximum health. So I set up all 4 of these medicines in my slots, and I popped 1 of these right before heading into a boss fight. It can be difficult to pull off drinking medicines in the middle of a fight, so I find downing all 4 right beforehand is the most reliable way to utilize them. However, you can very easily burn through a lot of medicine using them every time you attempt a boss. And then you'll be stuck facing the boss without that extra boost. So what I do is I don't use any medicines on my first few attempts while I learn the boss's patterns. And then once I feel like I have a good battle plan, then I start popping my set of 4 medicines to give myself a boost and make everything easier. Or if you have an attempt that's going well where you didn't pop any medicines, you could potentially pop at least 1 or 2 mid-fight if you get a chance to help make sure you can finish it off. But still, even if you manage your medicine use well, you're going to need a constant stream of ingredients once you start using them regularly. The 6 ingredients you're going to need for the 4 potions I mentioned are licorice, fragrant jade flower, snakehead mushrooms, aged ginseng, purple linksy, and jade lotus. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, it seems to take a full hour for plants to respawn out of the world, so it's not very easy to find them. I'll link a guide that shows which plants spawn in which regions. And remember, there's also a few for sale at the Shrine Store. But the best way to reliably get ingredients is by growing them with Qianlong in the Zodiac Village. To get access to Qianlong, as soon as you land on shore with the turtle a little ways into Chapter 3, you'll know what I'm talking about when you get there. Immediately turn around and run towards the shoreline to find him standing in the water. You'll have to battle him first, but then he'll tell you he needs a pill from Zhudog. So head to Zhudog and select the talk option in his menu to grab the pill. Then you can head back and hand it over to Zhudog. This will unlock the Zodiac Village, where all the NPC merchants you've met will gather in one place, which is super convenient. To start growing medicine ingredients with Qianlong, you just need to hand over any seeds you have in your inventory, and you can come back every so often to harvest them repeatedly. Growing medicine ingredients with Qianlong does help keep your resource count up a bit, and each time you harvest, you actually also have a chance to get a new soak from your villager, so it's definitely worth seeking out. Oh, and you'll get seeds randomly from different plants you find out exploring, and I also noticed you'll rarely get them from breaking pots. But I'm sure you've also come across some of these guys who like to pretend to be a plant. I think it's kind of fun to fight them, but if you want to avoid them, there is actually a way to tell if a plant is real or just one of these goons. The mushrooms are probably the easiest because you can see the enemy's shoulder poking out of the ground a bit. Plants in the snow are also pretty easy because the snow right around the plant will be clearly disturbed when you walk up to it. The tricky ones are plants other than mushrooms out in the dirt, but you can spot these as well by noticing the dead leaves scattered around the plant, as if the enemy was trying to make the ground look natural. Now, similar to using medicines, you're also going to want to make sure you don't ignore upgrading your gourd, selecting a better drink, and adding good soaks. Early on, you're not going to have many gourds to choose from, so you'll have to just upgrade the default gourd a couple of levels. You'll need to go back to Shen Monkey from the Marsh of the White Mist Shrine to do gourd upgrades. Now, gourd upgrades do cost valuable Lugia fragrant vines. I think there's enough in the whole game to do all the gourd upgrades, but I'm not sure, and I haven't found anyone that can confirm that yet. I'll leave a guide for the known locations for the vines below, but maybe just do 1 or 2 gourd upgrades on the default gourd. I do still think spending a few vines on the default gourd is worth it. The extra healing charges make a huge difference in tougher boss fights until you can get better drinks and gourds later on. Even without any gourd upgrades, you can get a better drink pretty early in just the second. Lamb Brew heals you 20% instantly, and then takes a few seconds to heal an additional 25%. So a total of 45% compared to the coconut wine's base on 50%. You can also upgrade your drinks from the winter standards, but there are better drinks later on, and it doesn't seem like there's much more. I would hold off on upgrading drinks until later. All the more reason to use the Lamb Brew over the coconut wine early on. To get it, head over to the village entrance shrine in the center region, and then turn to run up these stairs and head up to the path. You'll get down to a wooden bridge, which you want to cross, and then head up the hill past the super rat archers and into an alcove on the top. The Lamb Brew is at the top of the stairs, sitting at the base of the stone altar. You always want to make sure you've got a good soak added to your drink as well. Soaks are basically enhancements for your drink. The good ones you can get early are random plants like the gold star, plants, and but the 2 best ones you can really get are the celestial monkey and the buy each time you take a single gourd, and it probably aren't using vessels very much, or at all, because they're locked behind the secret boss in each region. But these things can be really good. I particularly like the Wind Tamer. It has a passive effect that's active all the time that slightly reduces damage you take, and it will also temporarily give you a much larger damage reduction when you trigger it. Plus, I've noticed if you trigger it close enough to an enemy, the flash it emits will stun them briefly and interrupt pretty much any attack. You can even use this to interrupt really powerful boss attacks. And the Wind Tamer also gives you an edge in the final boss fight of Region 2 because it gives you immunity to strong winds. Now, to get the Wind Tamer, you need to get into the secret region in Chapter 2, and to do that, you need to complete the quest for the Drunken Boar, which you start by talking with him over here near the Rockrest Flat Shrine. I'll link a quest guide below in case you need some help. But even if you don't have any vessels to use yet, I'm pretty sure you're using your spells like Mobilize. And once you're level 40 or 50 or so, I would highly recommend dumping a bunch of sparks into the Immobilize upgrade tree, because these skills make it way stronger. In particular, you really want Evanescence. To trigger this, you need to use Immobilize right as an enemy is attacking. If you do that, the immobilization will last longer, and you'll also get a really nice damage boost while the enemy is still immobilized. It's very easy to fall into a pattern of using Immobilize kind of whenever you have it to control the fight, which certainly isn't a bad strategy, but you definitely want to get in a habit of trying to be more tactical with your immobilizations once you have this skill to maximize damage. You've probably also noticed that once you invest enough sparks on the staff stances page, you'll unlock the final level of focused attack, which seems to indicate you'll get a 4th focus charge dot, but you won't actually see one show up. Instead, the entire focus gauge, like including the stance icon and everything, basically acts as the 4th charge dot. If you already have the defense charged up and you manage to fully build up the focus meter again, you'll see the entire gauge turn gold and into a charge cycle. Doing a heavy attack with the gauge fully charged like this unleashes a super powerful. But unlike the first 3 charges, this final charge will only stick around for a few seconds. So you have to use it really quickly or you'll lose it. See the focus meter drop down. I wouldn't go for this fully overcharged focus attack all the time, because you're honestly probably going to waste opportunities to get in more quick damage with multiple uses of abilities like Red Strike and Skyfall Strike, which you can use with just 1 or 2 focus charges. But it is worth knowing that the fully overcharged focus attack will actually interrupt the bosses, while the level 1, 2, or 3 focus attacks just do. Now, Resolute Strike and Skyfall Strike are a little trickier to pull off, but varied combos like this more damage and getting better at combat. So I'll leave this video right here for you where I break down exactly how Resolute
What's up guys, I'm Cyrobe, and as someone who has an in-depth knowledge of Black Myth Wukong with over 160 hours of playtime and defeating every boss in the game multiple times, I get asked a lot what I think the best weapons are in Black Myth Wukong. So after extensive testing, I've curated this list of every single staff or spear in Black Myth Wukong. There's a few ways that each weapon is getting graded for my list. First off, I'm obviously going to focus on the weapon's stats, any additional passives the weapon might have, and how easy it is to obtain, or how early a weapon can be obtained. These are all the most important factors in my opinion, because most weapons have to be created by defeating certain enemies. For example, a weapon that has decent stats but can be obtained easily and early is actually better than a weapon of legendary value due to how hard the legendary weapon is to obtain and how late into the game it can be obtained with a pretty bad passive and only slightly better stats. So getting a mid weapon really early is a lot more valuable than getting a mid weapon very late. I try to remain fairly objective, but this list does include my personal preferences and playstyle, as I've defeated every boss multiple times and tried every staff in the game, so you don't have to. Let's start off with the Mean Staff. This is the Bronze Cloud Staff. Most of you may not have seen this weapon because it's a DLC pay-to-win staff. Well, more like pay-to-lose. This staff comes included with the $10 USD bonus content pack, with some armor and digital soundtrack. But for a weapon that technically costs $10, it only gives you 6 more base attack than the starting weapon that you get for free. Keep in mind, at this point in the game, crit chance means barely nothing, as your base damage will be so low and your crit damage multipliers are even lower, making it a weapon that price tag. It's especially relevant considering that this staff doesn't even have any upgrade features. So the fact that you have to pay for this weapon and it almost gets power prep by the 2 other staffs featured in chapter 1 makes it a pretty place. I'm happy to price that card, but really to pay any money for this staff, I can upgrade it and it's outskilled. Staff that boys, keep him entertained. First no passive. There's branch out into nothing special, but just good that it can be upgraded and at the very least $10. The Twin Serpent Staff can be obtained in chapter 40 but a decent passive weapon is no brainer. Upgraded the passive is fairly good for new players, since most newer players light attacks anyways, and even then, at an early level, attacks are really effective without having your water is quite nice, accessible upgrade free for one. Final boss in the area. This weapon has a 50 base attack with 40 passive. While invisible, Cloud Step is next Unveiling Strike. Attack automatically reveals herself after attacking in Cloudstep, gains an critical strike chance. The attack modifier is represented directly on the weapon, but I discovered it's applied to you the instant you hit something, and is an additional 25% crit chance on top of the string. On this clip, I had 10% base chance from the stats and Repair Staff, and after the Unveiling Strike, it went from 10% to 35% hit something, which is a pretty massive increase. It's not a guaranteed critical strike hit, and even with the modifier, it's very likely that you can crit with your Unveiling Strike attack, which makes the passive pretty hard to notice, especially only being active while in Cloudstep, so when Cloudstep is on cooldown, you essentially don't have a passive for this weapon. Personally, I think it should have been a guaranteed critical strike, because on top of the passive being tied to your Cloudstep cooldown, it doesn't lead into any other weapon in its build path until the very end of Chapter 2's final boss, while multiple other staffs can be achieved and obtained in Chapter 2 that are significantly better than this one and don't build from it, nor requires defeating the final boss, which makes the Wind Bear Staff worthy of its C tier placement. Alright, this is where my list starts to get spicy. At the very bottom of B tier, almost deserving of C tier, we have the Purple Epic Tier Chitin Staff. Yes, this weapon is, in my opinion, the worst epic rarity staff. For a staff with 80 base attack and 5% crit chance, it's pretty decent stats-wise, but the passive is almost non-existent. This weapon passive allows you to heal HP when you perform a heavy attack that consumes a focus point, which are the white dots. The more focus points you consume, the more it heals you. Sounds great on paper, right? Except for the fact that this heals an abysmally low amount that would never save you from anything, even with a max focus value of 4 dots. The healing is atrocious, and would only be good very early on in the game, which is even worse because you can't get this staff until the first major boss of Chapter 4 is defeated, requiring you to clear all the way through Chapters 1, 2, and 3. At that point, the healing is already unnoticeable, and the only upsides to this weapon are its base stats, and the fact that you can upgrade this weapon to a better staff later on in the same chapter, but by itself, it's really just the worst epic staff in the game. If its stats were any worse, I would have put it in C tier. Here's a good example of an epic tier staff that is actually viable to craft early on. The Rat Sage staff can be obtained by defeating the final boss of Chapter 2, the Yellow Sage, which is by no means an easy boss. He's a fairly hard fight, which when defeated allows you to craft this weapon. It only has 13 less damage than the Chitin staff, but 2% more crit chance, and a passive that actually does something, increasing your damage on light attack combo spams or bonus spin ability, granting both of these bonus damage from its passive and even slightly more attack range, which makes your attacks a little bit more consistent and feels a lot better as opposed to the game go. Again, this staff is better than the Chitin staff because it's obtainable at the end of the chapter 2, more than a whole chapter earlier than the Chitin staff, which provides a decent passive steroid for light attacks. The only problem with this staff is that there are other staffs in Chapter 2 that are better than this staff and don't require defeating the final boss to obtain. And even when you defeat the final boss, there's just a handful of options that's better. It's very good early on, but can be replaced very easily. You also can't even upgrade this staff to its final tier until you defeat the final boss of Chapter 5's secret area, which is also towards the end of Chapter 5 regardless, meaning that once you get this staff, you can't upgrade it for nearly 3 chapters, making it worthy of being fun. This is where the list gets spicier, as I genuinely believe the Cloud Pattern Stone Staff is better than every other staff that I've mentioned other than this one. It provides 60 base attack, which is fairly solid for a weapon that can be obtained relatively close to this one. There is no crit chance on this weapon, but gives you a fair amount of defense, which flat defense is most valuable to obtain on flavor. Boys, keep him! Which makes it perfect to have on an staff. The main effect of the weapon also blew me away. This staff increases charge heavy attacks while in Smash Dance specifically. This does not apply to killer stances, and only works on Smash Dance charge heavy attacks. But what surprised me is that this weapon's passive has around a 38% increase to your charge attacks in Smash Dance. This weapon seems to increase charge heavy attacks by 80%, especially for such an early game staff, but damage to Smash Dance. However, once again, it does not specifically, which still felt very a very viable status. Making it viable status and a solid early game performance. Next up, I absolutely hate this staff. This might be the worst legendary staff of the game. There are actually several purple epic tier weapons that I would prefer to use instead of the visionary centipede staff. Here's the bottom line.
Save your own
The entirety of the game from Chapter 1 to the end of Chapter 4, including the final boss of Chapter 4. Yes, that final boss of Chapter 4. There are only 6 chapters in this game. The Chitin staff that I mentioned earlier builds into this staff, but this staff has pretty much the exact same passive. Oh wait, but now if the enemy is poisoned when you heavy attack them with a focus point,